Welcome back. In this unit you will learn accidentals, more notes on the first string, and the eighth note triplet. Accidentals are symbols that pair with notes to create new notes. Three of the most common accidentals are the sharp, the flat, and the natural. The sharp raises pitch up one fret. The flat lowers pitch down a fret, and the natural cancels the effect of a sharp or a flat. The following examples will impart a deeper understanding of how accidentals function in music. In this example, F is played as the first fret on the first string, like this, but F sharp is played as the second fret first string, like this. Since they produce different pitches, they're considered different notes. In this example, G is played as the third fret first string, like this, and G flat is the second fret first string, like this. Again, you can see that they're different notes. In this last example, you'll see how the natural functions. Here, the F on beat 1 is played as the first fret on the first string, F sharp is the second fret, F natural is played as the first fret again. So the natural symbol cancels the sharp of the previous note. The entire example sounds like this. When playing music with accidentals, please remember the following rule. Accidentals apply to successive notes on the same staff position for the remainder of the measure in which they occur, unless explicitly changed by another accidental. Once a bar line is passed, the effect of the accidental ends. There is one exception to this rule, which will be discussed later in this video. But for now, let's take a look at a few more examples to clarify the finer points of this rule. Take a look at the note on beat 3. Is it an F natural or an F sharp? The preceding note on beat 2 is the same staff position and contains a sharp. Therefore, the note on beat 3 is indeed an F sharp. The entire measure is as follows. F on beat 1 is the first fret, F sharp on beat 2, second fret, and F sharp on beat 3 is also the second fret. So the whole measure is like this. Now let's apply the rule in another way. Again, take a look at the note on beat 3, F sharp or F natural. The F sharp on beat 2 is a different staff position than the F on beat 3. Therefore, the note on beat 3 is an F natural, not an F sharp. The entire measure is as follows. F on beat 1 is the first fret. F sharp on beat 2 is the second fret. And the F on beat 3 is the third fret of the fourth string. The whole measure is like this. Now that you understand accidentals, I can explain the concept of enharmonic equivalence, or enharmonics for short. Enharmonics are notes that create the same pitch despite being notated differently. Did you notice that the first two examples, F sharp and G flat, are both played here, second fret, first string? So we can call them enharmonics. Now you're ready to learn more notes on the first string. So let's start with F sharp and G flat. As you know, they're enharmonics and they're both played at the second fret on the first string. G sharp and A flat are also enharmonics, and to play them, fret the fourth fret on the first string, like this. A is on the first ledger line above the staff, and to play A, fret the fifth fret of the first string, like this. Allow me to explain how a tie affects accidentals. When a note that's been altered by an accidental ties to the same note across a bar line, the accidental is carried through. However, subsequent notes at the same staff position in the second bar are not affected by the accidental. In this example, the tied note in measure 2, beat 1 is an F sharp. However, the note in measure 2, beat 2 is an F natural. Some scores will include the natural as a helpful reminder, and this is called a courtesy accidental. But bear in mind that some scores don't include these. In this case, you are expected to know the rule and play the correct pitch. Altogether, the two measures sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll conclude by turning our attention to a fantastic rhythmic device known as the eighth note triplet. In Unit 2, you learned to subdivide the quarter note into two equal parts using eighth notes. Here, you'll learn to subdivide a quarter note into 3 equal parts using the eighth note triplet. The eighth note triplet consists of 3 beamed eighth notes with a subscript or superscript 3. The 3 is important because it's what alters the math of the eighth note. Remember that in simple meter, eighth notes are expected to be 1/2 of a beat. The hovering 3 allows us to temporarily make the eighth note equal to 1/3 of a beat. This example is in simple triple meter, and the first beat contains 2 eighth notes, the second contains a triplet, and the third contains 2 eighth notes again. In other words, beat 1 is subdivided into halves, beat 2 is subdivided into 3s, and beat 3 is subdivided into halves again. So take a listen and pay attention to that unique feel of the triplet. 1, 2, 3. Triplets can include 2/3 and 1/3 groupings as well. In this example, you'll see a combination of both. Let's take a listen. It sounds like this. 1, 2. This unit's sight reading tip is dedicated to mastering the triplet. It's important to develop the feel of the triplet subdivision through focused practice. I recommend counting triplets along with a metronome click. Set the metronome to something like quarter equals 80 beats per minute and count takite, takite in the space of every click. And once that's easy, you can begin to play like this. Takite, takite. Alternatively, you can count 1 triplet, 2 triplet. But make sure the subdivisions are equally spaced and that you say ta, or the beat number, at the same time as the click, like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Triplet subdivisions have a unique feel. You'll begin to intuitively transition from the triplet feel to the non-triplet feel and back after dedicated practice. Enjoy playing these new rhythms and duets, and I'll see you in Unit 11. Bye-bye.